Hey, I'm Gaff Takes Photos, and today we're looking at a repurposed vintage throwaway film camera lens. It's been bought back and it's super popular right now. We're in Hertford and let's take a walk around the old town. Let's go. Alright, so after walking around a little bit using this Oreo lens around Hertford Old Town and Hertford Castle, I do have a few things to say about it. Alright, first off, obviously it's got no focus, that's fine. We knew this coming into it. You would have known this if you're already looking at this lens. You probably know that already. That's not an issue. The real issue is it kind of affects image quality in a weird way. It does look vintage and it does look kind of old school, like an old film camera, but it also weirdly affects the dynamic range, and I wasn't really aware of that before I came into this, but it makes the blacks black and the brights bright, and it really sort of crushes them and makes it all extremely contrasty. You might like that, you might not. It does sort of suit the vintage vibe that it's supposed to be giving off, but yeah, I'm not sure I like that particular feature of this lens. Another thing is they advertise this as fitting full frame cameras, and I know because I have a friend who's also got this as well. There's an extreme purple vignette around the outside of a full frame sensor area on this lens. Now you can clean this up in post, you can remove the purple yourself, or you can crop it down to what would be a crop sensor size image, and that does work. But if you're going to shoot with full frame in this lens, you have to be aware that it's got this overly purple vignette around the outside, and yeah, they don't tell you that on their website at all, so that's a bit of information for you that you wouldn't get from them. Right, we're going to try and get some flower photos, more landscapey sort of vibes to them, and see how this performs. Don't have high hopes. Don't have high hopes. For all the bad stuff I've said about this lens, there are some good points, and personally, as much as I've been really dogging on the image quality, I do kind of like it in a weird way. Obviously I grew up in the 90s, we were using those throwaway film cameras, and this is very reminiscent of those photos, being slightly out of focus and a little bit terrible. But it's nice. It's nice. I know I'm saying it's bad, but it's good, bad. You get what I mean. If you grew up in those times, you'll kind of get what I mean with this one. Yeah, it's a different look to the clinically sharp lenses of today's era. When you go out, you spend £2,500 on a little prime lens, and it is sharp beyond sharp, so you can count the pores in your face. This one, you'll be lucky to see a face, and that's kind of nice, I guess, in a weird way. Speaking of dynamic range, this would be a really nice shot on a normal, sharp, good lens. So let's see what this Oreo lens can do with this scene in front of me. Hopefully that comes out even slightly easier. If you're like me and you've seen these adverts on your Instagram or your TikTok, and if you're into photography, you probably have. They do a really good job marketing this to you as that vintage look lens, and that's kind of what got me into this. I kept seeing him, thinking, I need that in my life. I bought a film camera a year and a half ago with this idea in my mind that I should be doing some vintage stuff. It's still in the box. So I bought this because this is less commitment than film. And I think that's the advantage here, is that this is cheaper than a film camera, and if you don't like it, you can just take it off at the end. I think that is exactly what brought me in here. And plus, if you don't like it, you can just use it as a body cap. I mean, it is a body cap, you just use it as a body cap, and it's about the same price as a Canon body cap anyway, so you've not lost anything. And if you really feel like it, turn it on. It's a lens too, so it's not bad in that aspect, I suppose. What you might find as well while using this lens is the settings aren't quite exactly what you're used to. So I just took a photo over there. I'll have you know, it's sunny, it's blue sky, and it's daytime. It is roughly the middle of the day, which means it's bright. So I'm using ISO 800 at 100th of a second in daytime. The sun's out. Use those settings now, but with this one you do, I guess. Alright, so another positive of this lens is it's small, it's lightweight, it's a lens cap at the end of the day, and it's going to fit in every one of your camera bags. If there's no space in your bag, you're going to have a pocket it fits in. It's that small. Or you could just use it as a body cap like I am right now. So yeah, it's small, but also it's really cheap depending on where you get it from. If you get it from Retropia, there's a bit of a premium on that, but it is the same lens as a lot of the other cheaper brands out there. So shop around, get it secondhand if you want to as well, that helps. But for the price, it's going to stay in the camera bag, and I know that sounds weird because it is objectively a bad lens, but it is going to stay in the camera bag because it's fun at the end of the day. And fun, it just makes my life more enjoyable. You go on a family holiday, you want some of those old vintage style photos that you see in your parents' photo books, this will get you there. And it's low stress as well. There's no like, oh, is it going to be in focus? Don't care, just fire. Stick it on auto mode if you have to, just let it go. And it takes all the stress and drama out of taking photos, and it just turns it into a really weirdly highly spec point and shoot. So yeah, my final verdict for this lens is buy it if you can get it cheap enough, because it's fun, but don't expect it to be the best lens in your bag, because it's just not going to be. It's just an old vintage look lens for specific occasions. So yeah, anyway, I have been Gav from Gav Takes Photos. I will see you in the next video. Please like, comment, subscribe, let me know if you're looking into one of these and if this has put you off or made you want it even more. And I'll see you in the next video for some more Micro Four Thirds nonsense. Bye bye.